One of the hardest things to explain about abuse is that it rarely begins with violence. Most of the time it starts with excuses, then manipulation, then guilt, then control. By the time something physical happens, your nervous system has been conditioned to doubt itself. When people hear stories like mine, they often ask, "Why didn't you leave after the first violent incident?" The truth is that abuse isn't built in a single day. It's built one compromise at a time, one excuse at a time, one apology at a time, one promise at a time. By the time number 2 became physically violent, I had already spent years of being taught that my feelings were wrong, my instincts couldn't be trusted, and that every problem somehow traced back to me. When he destroyed things people had generously given us and pushed me into the floor, something else happened too. I felt guilty, not angry, not protected, guilty. Looking back now, that says more about the abuse than it does about me, because healthy people don't teach you to feel responsible for their choices. Healthy people don't make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. Healthy people don't convince you that their consequences are your fault. One of the biggest warning signs of emotional abuse is when someone consistently shifts responsibility away from themselves and places it on you. You become responsible for their moods, their anger, their failures, their decisions, their mistakes, and their consequences. And eventually you start carrying so much weight that you forget about what belongs to you and what doesn't. What many people never saw was that I carried all of this with a smile on my face. I went to work, I laughed with coworkers, I showed up every day. I looked functional, I looked strong, I looked okay. But behind closed doors, I was exhausted, I was scared, I was confused, and I was slowly losing trust in my own judgment. And that's what emotional abuse looks like. Not bruises, not black eyes, not screaming matches. Sometimes it looks like someone smiling, going to work every day, paying the bills, helping everyone else around them, and quietly falling apart where no one else can see. And if you're listening to this and you find yourself constantly apologizing for someone else's behavior, if you feel guilty every time you set a boundary, if you find yourself explaining away things that hurt you, please pay attention to that feeling. Your instincts matter, your feelings matter, and you are allowed to take your own concerns seriously. Sometimes the first step towards healing isn't learning to trust other people. Sometimes it's learning to trust yourself again.